Think we might have lost Lombard again, but add him back in. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to another episode of he's audio only. I'm not sure where he is. Another episode of Iron Minds. We got Pedro Potato out there walking right now. Lombard seems to be having a tech difficulty or chiming back in, and Trey is Trey's MIA today, so hopefully Trey's all right. Still recovering well. Lombard, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GM. What's happening, everybody?
Man, I'm just happy to be here, ready to finish out this year and kick off the next one. How about you guys?
Likewise, I'm ready to get boogieing, dude. That's the
Every
name of the
year
game.
I like. I'm sorry, what?
That's the name of the game. Get boogieing.
So, question for you. Every year I like to pick a word as like a theme for the year. And it really kind of like a lot of my goals and things like tend to stem from it. And my word for 2025 was actually the word thrive, which I regret, because if you look up the word thrive, thriving isn't winning. Thriving is when you're actually doing the grinding and doing the hard work in order for you to win. It's when you're building something. So we'll just say it was an apt word for 2025. But my word for 2026 is breakthrough. And I think it really works with Breakthrough 26 for a lot of reasons. And I'm tying all of my goals to it. But I mean, even so much as the fitness, breaking through 26 miles by doing Ironman, by completing the Killington Ultra and stuff like that. And I wonder, am I crazy, or do you guys ever do anything like that too?
I'd say don't pick a word of the year. I haven't done anything of the sort. I don't think there's any sort of highlighting theme. There's just overarching goals that I think that are on my mind for next year. I'm in the boat now, especially these past 2 years with the Austin with a half marathon being in January. Like this year, it's on the 18th. Where like December flipping to January has become no different than June going to July. There's just a process that's continuing as opposed to starting over. I mean, these last two weeks of the year, I mean, last week alone, Christmas week was a 40-mile run week for me, a lot of volume over the holiday, because that's how much a part of my life and lifestyle, goals and what I'm doing is, as opposed to letting the foot off the gas being those last 2 weeks of the year. It seems to be just so common. It's a
I think we might have lost his audio for a second.
Yeah,
And
I swear he does, man. He goes like in between like the houses. Oh, there he is. There he is. Go ahead, Lombard. We just lost you for a minute, bro. It usually happens. There's like one specific spot in your neighborhood that we lose audio from you.
Like 5 or 6 words.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, yeah, that calendar flip. I mean, us, December going to January, it's June going to July, for me. But no specific words to highlight the year. Maybe I should think of one. Maybe we can coin one up now. What about you, Pedro?
I don't have one either, man. But that's a good idea, dude. Never thought about it, and it's kind of funny what you just said about just December going to January is like June going to July. Like I've kind of always been that way too when it comes to New Year. Just the only difference with me is I'm just kind of glad to like shed off, the past, as you say, even if it was good, which it was a good year. So I think New Year's really isn't a big deal to me. Honestly, it's one of those things. It's just a couple of numbers changing on the calendar when it comes right down to it. You know what I mean? I kind of like the way what you say with stuff, Lombard. Like, people wait till they get to the new year. And I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but wait to get to New Year to, oh, new me, new changes, this, that, and that. And it's like, why only do it around this time? Like, why don't you just stay in that mindset the whole year? Like, what's the point of waiting till the end of the year to get in this mindset, make a change, set goals, and push through all the time? So that's kind of the way I feel with it. But I do like the whole word thing. And I like yours, Nick, of breakthrough. I think that is a very, very fitting word for this year in many facets.
Now, one thing I will tell you, I agree with you guys 100%, by the way. I say all the time, do not be enthralled by the magical flip of a calendar. There is literally nothing in the universe different between January 1st and December 31st. That said, I've been in sales leadership most of my adult life. You live in spreadsheets, and when the calendar flips, it's a new spreadsheet. And so I do look at an opportunity to hit reset. Another way of putting it might be a new season. Because I'm still in pursuit of my main goal. Sobriety is my number one goal every single day, and that's going to be my number one goal, until I die. My second goal, my second thing is always about my health, and that's always going to be up front. Things like numeric goals or like financial goals and what I'm going to do in a race. They do have a place and time only because of, they come and go. But I put it back to like how David Goggins will say, he's like, motherfucker, you don't need to have a race on the calendar. You need to be hard all the time. Well, screw him. I do need a race on the calendar. And it gives me something to look forward to and something to train for. And it is my lifestyle. And I do train without it, but I'm far more effective when I have something that I'm working for.
Absolutely. And I would say what's really great about how you phrase things is you said that your daily goal is your sobriety. And now that's just a daily goal, a daily win. At the end of the day, if you miss a workout, if you do anything, if you stayed sober that day, that's a win. Other people or anybody listening, that's what if we're talking New Year's resolutions, that's how you've got to view these things. I put it in the newsletter last night for Taillights about, New Year's resolutions and setting habits. The reasons why people fail at these resolutions, the reasons why people give up or quit over what they're doing is because they're not simply New Year's resolutions and just
They're making
goals.
wishes.
They're complete overhauls of your life. And so if your New Year's resolution is I want to lose 20 pounds, it's not that you want to lose 20 pounds. How are you going to lose that 20 pounds? So instead of making your New Year's resolution lose 20 pounds, which is an arbitrary number, what you should change is, so you have that daily goal, like that daily goal of sobriety, set a daily goal of I'm going to get this many minutes of walking per day. This is a daily goal. You make one small attainable goal. And this is especially if you're somebody who is, extremely at risk, hasn't exercised in quite some time. This isn't your lifestyle or habit. It needs to be a small attainable goal. Instead of lose 20 pounds, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you don't lose that 20 pounds in 4, 6, 8 weeks, you're going to be discouraged, think you're a failure, quit and start over. When that doesn't happen. That's not how it works. And I think it's good to reiterate this time of year that it's the progress over perfection method. Like your fitness and your overall health is not purely dictated by scales alone. What you're doing, like exercising today, going to the gym 3 times a week, or walking 45 minutes a day for so many days, and if you only lose so much weight, like you have still improved your fitness over time. Like there's unseen gains in your fitness that you're not going to see with scale. You might not see it in the mirror straight first, but getting in the movement and doing the right things with your diet is working in your favor. You just don't see it as quick as you can. And so that's the mindset you got to have going into it. You have that daily goal of sobriety, and I don't like, and I know that's not a quote unquote easy goal for anybody, especially somebody who's going through it. But if you're, say like I'm saying it, like sobriety is kind of a harder goal. I'm telling people to go for like a little bit of an easier one, like, hey, 30 minutes a day of walking, like make that non-negotiable.
You know, you
And
just said keyword right there, the non-negotiable. You talk about it all the time, right? Just what are your standards? I mean, we're talking about the daily goal. What's the life that you want to live? Who do you want to be? And what are the actions that are going to take you to get you there? But it's also key. I want to just correct on something, not correct, but add my insight about whether sobriety versus something else, right? It's the one day at a time. The one day at a time is what makes it doable. You know, the one day, just today, this one time, this one drink, this one moment, I don't have to take it. It's the same way by breaking down the way am I going to lose weight? What am I going to do today? What are the daily macro count or something? Or what's my calorie count? Or what's the activity I need to do? Because more often than not, and I heard somebody say, I'm going to bastardize this line. I'm going to make it up to serve whatever I wanted to right now. But I heard a video earlier in the week, somebody talking about New Year's resolutions. And it was about how New Year's resolutions like kill more people than drunk drivers on New Year's. Because and again, I'm totally stretching this here, but the idea was that people say I'm going to start this then, and then they destroy themselves in the days and weeks leading up to it, which oftentimes causes a lot more damage. And because as we talked about, we just made it so much harder on ourselves. January 1st clicks. Well, it's today's January 1st. Well, today's January 2nd. It's a Saturday. I'll start on Monday. The next thing we know, it's the 5th. I'm tired because I just treated my body like crap for the last 6 weeks preparing for this. We don't ever start at all. And we end up unhealthier than if we had never made the goal in the first place. There's like this myth. It's a deceptive myth about, you know what, January 1st New Year's resolutions are just an excuse. That's all it is. It's another excuse to not start something I know that's good for me today.
dude, 100%. I mean, it's almost like it's a marketing gimmick. It's almost like
Right? I'm
it's
surprised
almost
people
like
aren't making money off that yet. Ooh, good idea. We'll talk after.
I mean, basically, people are, and that's their mindset of it. All of a sudden,
Mm.
December rolls around. That's the thought in people's mind is the end of the year, and then they're like, I got a goal. There's something I really want to do. It's going to get really busy. It's going to be tough. People aren't, and people to their own credit, people do let off the gas this time of the year because when you try to put in effort on something like booking meetings and everything like that, other people will be busy and you're not able to do it. But again, still kind of an excuse depending on what it is you're doing. But there's no reason why you can't treat December like a little bit how you treat January. And that's what people end up doing. They'll be like, you know what? Like, even just this past weekend, like, Christmas was on a Thursday and then it was Friday and Saturday. People's entire minds was just like, oh my God. I mean, it's literally, I mean it when I say this, and this is why it gets me so freaking fired up. Is like, that's what I see all over Instagram. It is like people sharing stories of being like, oh my God, like I don't know what the date is, like haha, like laughing about how it's like how it's
Dude, I
funny.
didn't know what the date is. It has been confusing this week, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's like normalized. People are like, oh, it's such a blur, like, and it's like, people trying to virtue signal, like, don't worry about what you're eating, and it's like, that's not the world we're trying to bring. Like, to not be cognizant of where you're at and what you're doing, and figuring things out and just blowing it off, and then yeah, like making the excuse of, yeah, it's okay if you just like drink wine at 10 a.m. in the middle of the day for no absolute reason because it's the last 2 weeks of the year. You'll start in January. That being a normalized thought process in society, it to me is pathetic. I just think it's an absolute joke to even think that way because it's not living the way we should be. We have a line of scripture in this show. Like that is not how we could and should be living. Is in this sort of melancholy way of like figuring it out, like you say, surviving, not thriving, so to speak. Like we shouldn't be surviving through this
We're
through
not we're
this
not
life.
here just to take up space.
Yeah, we're not here to take up space. We're not here to just like to laugh and have this nihilistic view of the world's evil, everything's bad. So what I do to cope with that bad is okay because everybody else is doing it. That's not the norm. And I think that there we go. If we're talking words, maybe this isn't a word, but I think one thing that I'm definitely going to be something I'll be casting out more next year is just because everybody's doing it doesn't doesn't make it good, doesn't make it okay, doesn't make it great, and it
Denormalize,
doesn't.
normalize.
Yeah, like just because
I'm so
everybody's
going to
doing
use
it.
that against you.
What's that, Pedro?
Who-
Oh, nothing. I forgot my mic wasn't muted. I was saying to myself, I'm so going to use that against Lombard at some point during this year. He's like, Pedro, let's go run this 60-mile marathon around Mount Everest. I'm like, Lombard, remember on December 30th, you told me just because.
Hey, I'm
Well, I
not
mean, dude,
everybody.
sometimes you got to just fold to the peer pressure. Otherwise, they won't think you're cool.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Now, I got to call myself out, but it's not entirely my fault. Because, well, it is. I did plan it by design. But, I've taken almost the entire month of December off from actual training. And I'm not starting again until January 1st. Yay! But that's just because of when I got my tattoo done and when everything will be healed. And I will tell you though, I've been active, right? I've been making sure I'm walking like 30 plus minutes a day. So I'm still getting up. I'm doing that. I'm doing some mobility. Uh, but, and I haven't been weighing myself. And I will tell you, I definitely I ate too much sugar here and there, but I do see the bad habits start to add to other bad habits. And I think I mentioned that last week. But at the same time, just by staying active, like, I don't think the damage has been that bad from a month, if that makes sense. But I am so fired up to get after it. I really am. It's been too long. And that's when you know that something that you once thought you hated, like getting up early and exercising, has become part of your lifestyle when you're like, holy shit, dude, it's been over 3 weeks and I am not the same man without it.
Yeah, you feel like you lost a piece of something. Almost, yeah. You fell off from falling off. You're ready to
I've lost
spin
an
back into
outlet,
it.
and I mean, a lot of my creativity flows from what I do during training. A lot of my other habits and disciplines and things that begin to flow, like it's the first step is so important because all the other steps follow the first step. And so it's like, I know there's always this like back and forth on social media and LinkedIn about what's your morning routine. If you're not up at 2 a.m. doing 27 different things, I don't know what the right morning routine is. It's probably right for the right person. But speaking for this person, having that time and doing the things I'm doing with that time, it really does make my day entirely different. All things flow more successfully when you start the morning off with like positive intention and physical activity.
Yeah, and with those morning routines, that's another same thing, just like a New Year's resolution, like to wake up and do like that video that went off this year, the dude with the Saratoga water, like dunking his face in the ice bucket and doing all this stupid stuff. Like that doesn't need to be your morning routine. But it could be that one thing, like no matter what, when I wake up, I'm going to have, that 16 ounces of ice cold water. That's it. You do that every single morning. You start with that. You implement that as part of what you do in the morning, and then you build from there. Just like any kind of small attainable habit that we've talked about on the show all year of building those sustainable habits, making them small, making them daily, those daily non-negotiables. You have to just start with one. And when you build out a morning routine like that, your life ends up becoming a lot different in how you feel throughout the day, where your energy's at the end of the day. And I think that you just do that one thing. It's just one 16-ounce of cold water every morning. Do that every morning for a month. You'll start to feel good from it. And you can stack from there what else you'd want to add in the morning.
I mean, Pedro can be you are the testament to the power of walking.
That's very true. That's very true. That's about all I can. Well, I say that. I mean, man,
You
I
do
do the
not put
road.
yourself down, man. I'm saying,
Well,
like,
I
what
was going to
great
say I do.
impact the simple
Now
activity
I
has
go. Well, it's very true. I was going to say, like, for half the year I've gone to the gym. So, but I agree. I like walking, man. Running's just too hard on my body. I really can't do it anyway because of my injury. But dude, that's how I lost most of my weight, even at the gym, man. I mean, all honesty, I only go to the gym max 3 times a week, usually two, because I prefer walking. I like being outdoors in the sunlight and for breathing fresh air. And what I mean, so I do, man. 2 miles, 2 to 4 miles, just depending on the route I take. So, I think I average like 20 something miles a week, maybe more, just walking. So I do the math.
Yeah, dude.
And I think I learned this from you guys, man. I thought it's, all about the output that you do with your body. And I've talked about this before that last time I was really skinny, I mean, I was at, I was pushing out like 15 calories a day. So I could never eat enough to catch back up. And I realized, man, that it's a good mix of activity and what you feed your body. What fuel are you putting in there? How much of that
Mhm.
fuel, and I attest to the walking, man, pretty much helped me lose most of this weight, 2 miles 4 times a week. And then I upped it to 2.5, and then I did it to 3, and then I did it to 4. And, so it's kind of like just what Lombard was saying. You just start with one small habit. And that's what I did. It was non-negotiable for me. 3 o'clock was my time because the kids weren't out of school yet. So 3 o'clock was my walk time, man. And every day that was non-negotiable for like 5 months till I started seeing the weight loss. And then I did less days a week, but more miles. And I just stuck with it, man. And it built that pattern, just like Tuesday is part of my pattern, right? I get up 25 minutes earlier on Tuesday. So I still have my time to myself in the morning before I come and do this with you. But, Ironman is part of my habit. I built that over the last year with you guys. Like, I don't even have a calendar thing for it anymore. I almost wake up on my own without alarm because I built that habit into myself over the course of the last year.
Dude, you said something a minute ago that was so critical because you said about the you thought it was all about like this intense output, and so many people see like some motivational video with like Goggins working out and you know Eric Thomas yelling stuff, and they just see people sweating and being miserable, and they're like, "Oh, I can't do that." Dude, that's I don't know what that is, but that's not fitness. Fitness is about the consistency. It's about the consistent work and the self improvement and the continued effort. And the good habits are a gateway drug because the one thing leads to another. It's very rare, even if you're like training for something professionally, it's very rare that you're actually hating your life in the middle of a training session. You shouldn't be doing that many like that. And so, I mean, we get this like thing where I don't know, maybe it's because we're trying to glorify the grind. And I guess I get that too a little bit. Um, but I think the message gets lost. What do you think, Mike?
No, 100%. I mean, if I wrestle with this almost like identity crisis where, I never considered myself a runner. Really never called myself a runner for quite some time. It's like hating running. I spent so many years hating running, almost kind of how I was embarrassed with how I've walked in my faith. I spent so much time like hating the idea of faith that, and now that I'm so enthralled in it, sometimes I feel like a phony because of the years I spent downplaying it. And it's the same thing with running, where it's like I downplayed it, I hated it, I talked about how bad I tried to find where running was actually bad for you in so many ways, and now it's just like it's this cornerstone of my life. And again, there's still a lot of difficult times and times when I don't want to, especially when it's a little bit colder. Like yesterday, it was super windy in Austin and it sucked. But I can't lie when I say like the one of the most fun parts of my life, one of the biggest social parts of my life is going for a 10-mile run with my buddy Zach and with the Endorphins Run crew, because for the most part that 10 miles, where it is long and it is like 10 miles is a harder run, at my current fitness level, it's like we're running at a very social pace, and I have and I have candy with me. Literally, I'm eating candy as my fuel, and it's 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute social hour. Like that's what that's become. And
Community.
so, and there's a lot of there's good parts of the fitness I've experienced, especially coming off the road, being involved in Austin, where they are fun community events. And some of the workouts you're doing and some of the runs you're doing are harder than others. But for the most part, like there's a very fun social aspect to it, where it's just not like, yeah, being in the pain cave, almost like it's like Paris Island all over again. And yeah, I think there's this overhype and overselling of the grind on social media. I think we see it on LinkedIn, we see it with, and I kind of laugh at that stuff, with like, Andy Elliott and these guys and these serial entrepreneurs and those people should be revered. But I was reading a really good something really interesting about these people who are like addicted to this like nonstop perpetual grind is we glorify that because of what their input and output is. Like their input is that work, and their output is this all kinds of like an extreme anxiety disorder that's not talked about enough. Like it's they have the most extreme levels of I'll be happy when I have this, when I have
Mhm.
X. And so that's why they're on this perpetual, and it's almost become this. And if you notice with any of those people, those high speed, like high sales people, like they're doing exactly what like the G faces of the world are doing, and they're selling courses, and they're selling like they're selling their own like coaching and mentoring, and it's like that's great. It's great to have coaches and mentors, but it's like that's become what they're passionate about at this point. Is like they're selling you, yeah, they're selling you this idea they have, and selling you tickets to go watch them speak and to like get their information. And it's just like that's how much of a business this has become. Where I think a lot of that has to do with a huge issue with their anxiety. So big time. I mean, that's definitely like, yeah, people think fitness needs to be hard every day. Absolutely not. Like, no, it could be as simple as walking. It could be as simple as walking with your friend. If you have children, it could be as simple as walking with your stroller or
Boom.
jogging with the stroller. Like, it's not need to be hard every day. Some of the stuff you want to do is hard. You want to lift heavy stuff. The only way to build, every woman I talk to who trains at Orange Theory, their goal is to be tone. This is this magic word, tone. They want to be tone. And I say, what does that look like to you, tone? And they're like, more defined. And the only way to become more tone as a man or a woman is you have to pick up very heavy stuff, and you have to eat a lot of protein. That's it. That's all you need to do. That's how you tone. This low reps, these high reps, low weight stuff, that's not going to do it. You have to absolutely rip your muscles to shreds, break them down, and then your body uses the protein to build them back stronger. That's how you do it. So some of the stuff you want to be hard, but not all of it.
Now, when you said something that hit me a minute ago, because well, shameless self promotion. This new speech I've been working on is about breaking down a process to breaking down obstacles, and it starts by identifying the obstacle. And it comes to what you said a minute ago is when you had self-identified, I'm not a runner, or like the so often we see the thing that we can't do, and we create a narrative about it that says I'm not this. And so the reason I bring that up is because there are a lot of people who are, whether you call it a resolution, a goal, or anything, if you don't have one, today is the time to put ink on it. And so if you don't know what the objective is, if you don't know what the obstacle is, and if you don't know what the goal is, we end up picking something abstract, or we pick something too hard, or we begin to just self-justify why we can't take the next action. We say it becomes a story about what we're not. So today's the day to put ink on a tangible, a specific, a measurable, an actionable, a realistic, and a time-bound goal for the year if you haven't already. And by the way, if it's not for the year, make it for the month, make it for the quarter, but pick something that says this is what I am intentionally going to start doing, and I can start doing it today.
And on top of that, I want people to think of their network. John Larari's LinkedIn post stands out to me, and I commented on it. There's no point in having a network if you're not going to help the people in it. Like you could know all these people and talk to them and say hi and shake their hand and what's up every time you see them. But what is the point of any of that if you are not um, working cohesively together in some capacity between your current jobs, or if they need it, you show up for them. Like in general, like if you see that somebody, like I'm doing my best to try to, go in every different direction with John to try to get him a new job. But like, when we see friends that are down low, they need help. If they got the open for work banner on their freaking LinkedIn, it's not like, what's the point of this network if you're not going to help them? And it's the same thing with these New Year's goals or resolutions you have. Like, hi there, if you're hearing this or reading this, like, we're in your network. And if you're somebody who's like, who quits after 3 weeks and you're not calling me, I'm insulted. I'm insulted if I'm not being leaned on in that capacity to help you reach your goals in any sort of way. because that's what the network is for. That's why we do this. That's why we talk about this stuff. Is like to help you. So if you have a goal or intention, you've got the Iron Minds crew who's going to be there to walk you through it.
And on that note, I'm glad you mentioned, as a matter of fact, if any of our guests today watching want some help putting some into it, I'm free all afternoon. Hit me up. Be happy to walk you through it. There's no sales pitch coming at the end of the conversation, because if you're part of the community, this is what we do.
Yeah, big shout out to my man Adam 51 Logistics tuning in. I see him in the comments, and Bobby McGee. Appreciate you guys dropping in on the last Iron Minds of 2025, baby. We're gonna be freaking rip roaring in 2026. We got to get some more people on. We got to get some more guests on their Tuesday mornings. We're gonna keep rolling, baby.
We're gonna break through. Pedro, anything else?
Sorry, my hands are about half frozen, bro. So
Well, we're gonna let you go.
at the house. Forgot my gloves at the house. So I know. I guess the only thing I got, man, is hey, be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, and as Nick's word of the year for 2026 is, make 2026 a breakthrough in whatever part of your life that you need one, whether it be health, fitness, in your marriage, your mental health. I hope that you find that breakthrough. And to bounce off what Lombard said, use your network. We're all here for you for that. Everyone has been through a similar struggle to what you're going through in your life. So, hey, if someone in our little circle can be of help to you, please reach out. Join our group. Michael, don't forget to hit him with the old Slack group there, guy.
Yeah, dog. Drop a DM on us. Join the Slack group. I'm trying to mix the pot in there. I try to get a little active. Turn your notifications on. We got to gas up the homies, gas up the crowd. Join in. Find your tribe. We're the tribe.
Also, have a safe and happy New Year's. Uber is your friend.
Agreed.
Facts.
Find your tribe. Let's go.